19 minutes away from 8, London's Mayor Boris Johnson is calling for Britain and Australia to set up a bilateral free labour mobility zone. Now, Boris has written a piece in the Daily Telegraph saying the UK has betrayed the Commonwealth by joining the EU when it should be intensifying ties with countries like us and Australia. This all came about because of the plight of an Australian schoolteacher who got kicked out of the country because she wasn't from the EU. So does he have a point? Director of the London Link and Corporate Immigration Services, Joyce Ong, is with us from Britain. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
If you're a Kiwi, is it hard to get sponsored to stay in Britain?
It can be quite difficult if for Kiwi nationals to get a work permit.
How does it work?
Basically, to get a work permit, a Kiwi national will first have to get a job offer, essentially from a UK employer who's willing to sponsor them, and this actually involves the employer first getting a license from the UK border agency, and this then gives them the right to hire non-EU migrants, and on top of that, the job must be deemed skilled enough and must meet salary requirements set down by the UK border agency, and the employer in many cases will also have to advertise the job nationally and show that they have taken steps to try and recruit British nationals and those from the EU before the non-EU applicant, in this case the New Zealander, can actually apply for a work permit. So it is it can be quite daunting, the whole process, for the uninitiated, for employers and employees as well. And on top of that, the immigration rules change a lot. They change quite frequently. So, it can be, as I said, quite daunting. So firms like us here in the UK were, of course, here to help relieve some of the anxiety and stress and minimize any potential delays in hiring skilled professionals.
Is there a sense that Britain is missing out on good talent because of this, or surely there's enough people in Britain and Poland and the EU and all of that to actually fill all the jobs you could ever want, isn't there?
Well, yes and no. I think we're talking specifically about Britain needing skilled migrants to work in the UK. There are certain sectors that are badly in need of skilled professionals. So I think the topic about a bilateral free labour mobility zone would work very well if it can apply to skilled migrants who have skills, or even entrepreneurs, may I say, who have very, very valuable business skills to offer to this country. So it's specific migration targeted at specifically skilled people, and we're not talking about the unchecked, uncontrolled migration from the EU, whether it's for skill, unskill, or semi-skill. Here we're talking about specifically skilled people who just happen to be from a non-EU country.
Do you reckon Boris has got a point? Do you reckon we should do it, or Britain should do it, and if Britain did do it, you'd be a better place for it?
I think it will be a really progressive, positive step ahead if we can implement some kind of an exchange scheme. That's how we can interpret it, an exchange scheme, but targeted at the highly skilled. And I'm sure lots of British nationals would go to Australia and New Zealand, for that matter, to work or to conduct business as well. So it would make sense, in our opinion, to offer an exchange scheme for these two countries.
Joyce, lovely to talk to you. I appreciate your expertise very much. Joyce Ong, who's the director of the London Link and Corporate Immigration Services, with us this morning. Interesting email.